break it down. I don't want nobody else to hear the sound. This here is a private affair. Interrupt the flow, no, you better not dare. Shh. About to break it on down, down, down. What up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you on this Super Bowl Sunday. Let's go! Check it out, guys. I want to talk to you about something that came to my attention last week, and this has to do with former showrunner for the massively successful show on Disney Plus, X-Men 97, DeMayo. Yes, DeMayo has dropped the bomb on the internet last week when he decided to talk about his side of things with the whole firing that Marvel did on him last year. All right, now DeMayo has released this 30-minute video clip that I'm going to leave in the pinned comment below. You can check this out. And what I'm thinking is that he must have been somehow inspired, or at least emboldened, by comic book creator, legend, royalty, Rob Liefeld, who also made a statement last week talking about how he feels like Marvel Comics do not show the proper respect to the comic book creators and the writers and the artists. And of course, you guys, I don't know how many of you out there are only familiar with the Marvel or MCU or DC movies, but all of these movies, these superhero movies, are taken from that source material. You know, a lot of us have tons of comics that these stories are supposed to be being adapted from. And what Rob Liefeld is saying is that they're not giving all of these creators the proper respect. Now, of course, Rob Liefeld left Marvel Comics back in 1992 to help launch Image Comics. And back then, even back then, that was a major concern and a gripe that was going on. The major, or the industry, they're not kind to the talent. And so that brings us today to DeMayo. Okay, now DeMayo, like I said, he released this 30-minute video, and I'm going to go over some of the things that he said. I'm going to leave that link in the pinned comment. You can check out that video. It was released on OnlyFans, but it's also on YouTube, so I'll leave that, and you can check it out for yourself. Now, I do think that it's interesting because a lot of us, for a while, have been feeling like there's something wrong with what we've been seeing and what we've been getting. Now, we all enjoyed the MCU for the better part of like 10 years, probably more than that, up to Infinity War and Endgame, but it's been sporadic to say the least how satisfactory these things have been. And it's got a lot of us looking to other sources, you know, independent creation. Kind of like this. We have here Achromatic Chronicles Green. You didn't see that coming now, did you? This portion of the Gospel According to Mark with a C is brought to you by Achromatic Chronicles Green by our friend Drunk 3PO. Run out and get yours. I just got mine in the mail. I can't wait to read this thing, all right? So this is actually the answer, guys. We're talking about supporting independent creation, all right? So moving on, let's talk about this DeMayo thing. We're going to get into some of the things that he said and what I make of it. You guys can get in the comment section and let me know what you make of all of this. And keep in mind, this is all alleged, okay? We all heard Marvel's side of the story, their statement, their official statement that they put out there. DeMayo has more that he has to say, and I'm glad and happy to amplify this because these have been my concerns, and I have another spin on this, of course, that I want to take after I read these things. All right, now he starts off by saying, "When I took the job on X-Men, I was told that they valued my perspective and experiences as a queer black man." That should have gave him cause for pause right there. They valued my perspective and experiences as a queer black man, and I made it very clear to them that I was not going to be the black stamp of approval on the project. So it was agreed that due to the themes of the X-Men, as well as my experience and the just general excitement around my pitch, that I would supervise all areas and stages of production. Now, what DeMayo seemed to be under the impression of is that they did value his creative experience, right? Now, there's a very fine line, but there is a distinction between self-insertion and just bringing who you are to a project. In other words, who you are as a creator should never overshadow the actual creation. You should not inject yourself into what you're producing to the point where it becomes a distraction, which is what we see all too often in a lot of our characters. The ones that we love and grew up with have clearly been hijacked to boost the views, the political views, the religious views, the sexual, the gender views, whatever you want. They are wringing out our characters. They are literally bending them over and having their way with our characters. DeMayo said, I am not going to do that. I'm not going to be the black stamp of approval on the project. Now, the reason why that made me raise my eyebrows is because what we see, say with Black Panther, for example, with Nate Moore, he is clearly the black stamp of approval on Black Panther. And what do we have as a result of that? We have no T'Challa Black Panther. Okay, but maybe I'll talk about that a little bit more. Let's go down to a little bit of what he had to say here. Okay. Oh, he said a lot, but I'm going to just skip down to here. He says, it's wrong for Marvel execs to roll their eyes when I raise concerns about being bullied and targeted on my account of my identity, to tell me to deal with it because these individuals are amazingly talented. Now, what he's talking about, I skipped over, is that he feels like there were people on the crew that he was working with who made him do what he considered to be degrading things, the way they addressed him. When I watched the video, he talked about somebody telling him that he should crip walk for them, like dance for me, boy, dance for me. I mean, that's a terrible thing to do. That's a stereotypical thing to do when you tell a black man to dance for you. You know what I mean? Crip walk for me. And actually, this rings true, even though all of this is alleged. When I think about some of the things that we've been seeing, like I said before, for example, when they did the what if Miles Morales were Thor thing, somebody actually thought that it was a good idea to put graffiti on the hammer, to have him wearing expensive, overpriced sneakers, and to have him saying things like, by Odin's fade, because he's black. And of course, he lives in the ghetto. And this is something that I've been talking about for years, guys. You know that I have. I've been saying that why is it that they want to marginalize black people and put them in this box where they always have to be from the ghetto, they're always from the hood, they're always talking broken language, they always have to come from, fucked up backgrounds and things like that. You have to be if you're black. You just have to be. All right? So he goes on to say, it is wrong for an artist on the show to repeatedly denounce all men as jerks and to accuse me of failing the cause because I'm keeping a jerk like Cyclops as leader of the team. Yes, he's keeping a jerk like Cyclops as leader of the team. Now, he previously talked before about how they accused him of playing comic book karaoke, where he was just trying to mimic what the comics were doing and he was sticking too closely to it, and they didn't necessarily value that. Now, once again, we heard the other black stamp of approval that I talked about, Nate Moore. He actually said something. This is the reason why this stuff rings true. Nate Moore said they don't look for creators to come on and do what the comics were doing. They don't value that. They don't want that. To hell with the fans that actually grew up reading these things, that actually grew up reading the source material. They want they want creators who are going to come on and do their own thing. That way they can inject all of their little political idiosyncrasies and things like that into the material. Never mind the comics. They just want it in name only. It's wrong to question my intelligence because my muscles don't make me look like a writer, or to talk about how thick with 2 C's I am. It's wrong for Marvel leadership to pat themselves on the back while giving me notes on a Blade script. A table of white men laughing as they tell me, hey, look at us. We hired a young Wesley Snipes to write the new Blade movie. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is so that you can see that Wesley Snipes and I look nothing alike. He said, oh my God, this is ridiculous. It's wrong when I suggested this past February that we reach out to RuPaul's Drag Race to find a way to promote what's been a beloved queer franchise on a show, to be told by Marvel they wouldn't want it to alienate certain audiences. That's kind of a gray topic right there, guys. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but that's my own bias right there. Let's just get back to what he's saying. It's wrong for their publicity department to list homosexuality as a hot button issue to avoid alongside school shootings, the Gaza conflict, and abortion. It's wrong for Marvel executives to foster inappropriate professional relationships with the artists I mentioned prior so as to push others out of the creative process who are not like them based on their identities. All right, so he goes on. Wait, it's wrong for these two same individuals to write off an interracial relationship between Bishop and another white character as creepy and something that belongs on Skinamax. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I could go on reading this, guys, but you hopefully have gotten the gist of what's going on here, and you can check out that video that Bo DeMayo released that I'm going to leave down in the comments. But I do think that it's cause for concern, guys, because I got to ask, Marvel, seriously, Marvel, let's talk. Marvel, let's talk. What's going on with you and black characters? I want to know. Like, there's a lot of us out here in the audience that want to know. You can't get the Blade project off the ground. We don't know what's going on with Storm, Ironheart, who else? What happened with Luke Cage? I mean, what's going on? You know, not to even get into so much the Black Panther thing. Oh, hell, let's get into the Black Panther thing. You had Nate Moore say and clear up that they're not even thinking about recasting T'Challa or the original T'Challa. He pretty much enabled Kevin Feige to say, we're not doing this. We're never doing this. Even though this character was proven to be so important to children all over the world. The movie was highly successful. We like to believe that Chadwick Boseman would have wanted the character to go on. His brother certainly implied that that would have been the case. And everything that I heard from Chadwick Boseman in interviews kind of reinforced that. Now, I was just on X and I saw this like good picture, this wonderful picture of like, I think 5 past Supermen. You know, of course, you had Tyler Hoechlin, you had Tom Welling, you had a few of them there. You know, there was like 5 of them. I don't know if Henry Cavill was in the picture, but when you look at things like that, you know, it made me think there is not one black superhero character that you can do that with. Not one black superhero character has achieved that level of prestige where you could have so many different actors to have opportunities playing that character, to have so many different generations of audiences getting to know that character. Not one. And when you consider what Bo DeMayo is saying here, in the way that they regard these characters, in the way that they regard these creators, you start to wonder, Marvel, what's going on? Talk to me. What is actually going on with the way that you perceive your audience? In particular, for the sake of this video, your black audience. I think you think that we're just a slam dunk. As long as you throw some blackness out there every now and then you can pat yourself on the back and say, look at what you did. But it's a new day. It's the dawning of a new way of thinking. All right. And there are a lot of us who are beginning to look at this and beginning to say, this ain't looking good. This is starting to feel like disrespect. Now, I look forward to hearing what else Bo DeMayo has to say, because he said this is just the tip of the iceberg. He's got legal action coming, so there's only so much he can say. But apparently, he has receipts, he has stories, he has legal representation, and there's going to be a lot more to this story to be told. But guys, for the sake of us here in the audience, I think that it's time for us to raise our standards a little bit, you know, to appreciate what we're getting. Absolutely. I mean, we're going to be getting Captain America, Brave New World, for what that's worth. It could surprise you. You never know. But, you know, I support Anthony Mackie, even though he says some ridiculous things. But still, you have to wonder, like, exactly what the deal is here, what's going on. And moving on into the future, I really do think that we should have higher standards, and we should keep our eye out on things like this to support if it needs to be. Like I said, I'll be keeping my eye on this to see where it goes from here. But I just wanted to bring this to you guys and just to let you know, to inform you about what's going on. Now, as always, it's time for you to get into the comment section and to let me know how you feel about Bo DeMayo's comments and what he has to say. These are very, very serious accusations, guys. Those of us who grew up on these comics, we protect the integrity of these comics, of these stories. It goes beyond race. This is something that we want to see. These stories on the big screen will only be better off for these people staying true to the source material as much as possible. I mean, they're always going to take artistic license, but what he's talking about is an attitude that goes against the source material. What Rob Liefeld is talking about also lends weight to this. All right, guys, as always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Of course, thank you to everybody who has contributed to my channel through the Super Thanks feature on each and every one of my videos. And I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.